Another challenge to a law by a state that infringes on the Second could make its way to the Ninth Circuit, the same Ninth Circuit that's kind of been doing things the right way. What do I mean? Stick by and watch the next episode of Guns and Gadgets. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the best source for Second Amendment news on YouTube. And we're talking today about a case that was heard yesterday in U.S. District Court. And this case was brought forth in 2019, and it was filed by the plaintiffs in this case are four young men. Two have since turned 21. One turns 21 in October, but they were all under 21 at the time of the lawsuit's filing. Also are two gun shops in the state of Washington, as well as the Second Amendment Foundation. Great job, guys. I'm a life member. And the NRA, life member there as well. So this lawsuit is challenging the change in Washington state's law where they passed Initiative 1639 in 2018. 59% of the voters in Washington voted for that. And what Initiative 1639 did was that it took the laws in Washington that governed semi-automatic rifles, ARs, AKs, you name it, and put them on par with the laws, the federal laws that governed pistols and handguns. And that, of course, would make it illegal for anyone under 21 years of age to purchase a semi-automatic rifle in the state of Washington. Now, the judge that heard this case yesterday is U.S. District Court Judge Ronald Layton. And he had some interesting quotes. Now, the lawsuit, again, is challenging this current law in Washington as unconstitutional because it bars people from purchasing some of the most common arms in the nation. They're saying that that's absolutely an infringement on their core Second Amendment rights. And you know what? I agree. Because, and I'll be honest, my opinion has changed on this over the years. Because if you're 18 years old, you can vote, right? You can vote for president, you can vote for Congress, so you're good enough for them to get you, want you to vote for them. You're also old enough to join the military. You're old enough to go die for your country. You're old enough to be charged as an adult at 18. And you're old enough to run for state offices, many state offices, not all of them. So if you're legally an adult in all of those categories, then shouldn't you be an adult across the board? That's just my opinion. What's your opinion? I'd like to hear it down below. But let's continue with some of the quotes that the judge had here, because they're... At the beginning, it sounds good, but let's get to it. So the judge told the attorneys that he grew up in a rural community where he learned to shoot at age 6 and remembers students taking guns to school. Right away, I was like, hey, we could have another one here. But the judge also said, quote, "I've heard how these young people are impacted in their executive function. It's akin to mental illness in their development." The judge just called everybody 18 to 21 mentally challenged. I've never seen that in all of the lawsuits that I've read. I've never seen a judge come out and say they can have pistols and bolt action guns, but they can't have these semi-automatic rifles because they're crazy. He then compared today's 18 to 21 year olds to the 18 to 21 year olds when Boomer was younger, and his quote was, "This is a different world in the urban Western District of Washington." Basically, we were much better than you clowns. So now you know you're dealing with an elitist, right? Just his little attitude right there, you're dealing with an elitist. Now the attorneys on the plaintiff's side, they challenged that the age restriction violates the Second and the 14th Amendments. And their attorney, Joel Ard, A-R-D, said this: "No other enumerated right has been withdrawn from adult citizens." Perfect quote. Spot on. Now, something else to note, that even before the argument started, and this was an hour long, before the argument started, the judge said this, and this kind of tells you everything you need to know. He said that they should expect a ruling on this case before August 31st, which means he probably already has his mind made up. Today's the 19th of August, so in the next 10 to 12 days, he'll have his decision for everybody. And he also said that the age restriction does not impact, quote, a core function of the Second Amendment. And again, mentioned that 18, 19, and 20-year-olds in the state could purchase bolt action gun, long guns, and shotguns. And he also said this addressing the Attorney Ard. Mr. Ard, you're going to have a very stiff headwind in your argument, meaning you're barking up the wrong tree. You're pissing into the wind, you're eating yellow snow, you stepped on Superman's cape. And maybe the judge realized he said too much, or gave a peek at his hand. He said that I don't share the hyperbole about the evil of guns or the sanctity of the right to self-defense. So this judge, should be noted here, he is going to be using the intermediate scrutiny test that was created by courts where they get to feel like they can legislate from the bench. Remember, in a 2-to-1 panel last week, the Ninth Circuit, which Washington falls under, says any laws that are going to restrict our core rights, any enumerated right, Second Amendment was specific what they were saying, had to pass a strict scrutiny test. So it'd be interesting to see. Obviously, we kind of get a feeling of how this judge is going to rule on this case, and hopefully it gets appealed to the Ninth Circuit, and we already have a panel decision that's kind of binding, right? This judge obviously is not using strict scrutiny. How do I know that? Because his quote was, "This is just a plain vanilla analysis of the law as I see it." That in and of itself justifies an appeal. And based off of something that happened last week, that should be taken up by the Ninth Circuit. So I fully intend in this case, sometime next week, being denied. Hopefully the Second Amendment Foundation, the NRA, the 2 gun shops, and these 4 individuals appeal this case. And who knows, this could be another landmark case coming from the Ninth Circuit. This is, who'd have thought, right? Like, who would have thought a couple of years ago the U.S. Silly Circus Court of Appeals, the Ninth, would have evolved into what it is today. You know what? Thank you, Donald Trump, for appointing some legitimate constitutionalists for judges in the Ninth. And this would not have happened without him. So I'll keep my ears pinned and my eyes peeled for what happens with this case, as well as the other cases we are watching in the Ninth. Don't forget, we have Duncan v. Becerra. That is the magazine restriction case that the AG has until the 28th to appeal. And we also should be hearing at any time, could drop at any moment now, the case of Rody v. Becerra. That's the ammunition background check case in California where people are getting wrongfully denied purchasing ammunition. And now we have, can people aged 18, 19, and 20 purchase every type of gun, not just be restricted because some judge said that they're crazy. It's insane. I will keep up on that. If you want information on this as it comes down the pike, please consider subscribing to Guns and Gadgets. This is where you're going to find this information. And for those who have been around for the ride, thank you so much. It means so much to not just me, but my family, that you have helped this channel grow. And if anybody's interested in supporting the channel, check out my Patreon. Links are down below. I also have other ways down there. You can buy some shirts and swag and stuff like that. Also have my new website down there. It's gunsn.gadgets.com. And on there, it's kind of a landing page where all of my the places where I can save you money with some coupon codes or whatever. They're all on there, including firearms related ones, because you can't post that down below. One more reminder: I'm starting an email list because I see bad things happening with gun related channels in the very near future. If you're not on the Guns and Gadgets email list, jump over to the LINKTREE link down below. It's linktr.ee/gunsandgadgets. Spell out the and. And that's another landing page. First option is the email list. Throw it in, and we will be fleshing out that going forward to keep everybody in the know. Because if this disappears, you might still want the news, and I still want to give you the news. Until we see each other again, folks, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.